What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today what I got here is the Hobbymate Meteor 5. It is a stretched X-frame FPV racer by Hobbymate with some quality components, and it is looking awesome with matching color motors and the color of the aluminum alloy cage. So we got the removable arm configuration with some 5mm thick arms, and it has a 3mm bottom plate, but instead of a single top sandwich plate, we have two individual top sandwich plates for the front two arms and another one for the rear two arms, leaving lots of space in the middle for the stack, and that enables the stack to be dropped lower to keep its lower profile design. And we have this aluminum cage to provide support and protection from the top, and it helps to keep the frame rigid in place of that missing top sandwich plate. Now, I am not a fan of this frame design with the missing top sandwich plate, but this thing is a solid built frame and it is very tough, and I am unable to budge the arms. All right, so taking a look at the bottom of the quadcopter, we have some countersunk screws to help keep the surface area nice and flat for your battery, and we are also provided with this non-slip battery pad as well as the Hobbymate branded battery strap. Now there's two screws that are dedicated for each of the motor arms for easy removal and replacement of the motor arms, and also we have dedicated screws here for the standoffs, and these are some long metal screws, and it travels all the way up above the flight controller and right into the top nylon standoff screw. So the bottom two standoffs are just spacers, so a very solid stack build, and there are some O-rings above and below the flight controller to soft mount it to minimize the vibration of the flight controller. And we have just 3 screws for each motor, and the motors are the Hobbymate branded 2306 2750 kV motors, and they are made by RC in Power. Now, it did not come with any props in the box, so they leave the choice of props up to your preference, and I have chosen some Gemfan 5149 props because it was the best matching props in terms of color. Yeah, all I want to do is match the colors, never mind the performance. But these are also some really great performing props also, but they do recommend 5045 Dell props and the 5152 Gemfan tri-bladed props. The motor wires are neatly heat shrunk onto the arms and have zip ties all around, but the rear zip ties are left a little bit longer to accommodate the receiver antenna, which come also neatly heat shrunken, but I had to remove them and replace it, so I just replaced it with some electrical tape. And the receiver choices for this quadcopter are the frsky XM Plus or the R-xsr receiver, or you can also choose the PNP version as well. And they also do provide the do-it-yourself kit version if you want to put this thing together yourself. Now, the VTX is the iFlight Force V2 48 channel switchable VTX from 0, 25, 100, 200, 400, and 600 milliwatt with an MMCX connector, and it also comes with this nice Foxier Lollipop 2 antenna, and there is a single button to change the channels, the bands, and the power output, and it is right here, and you can access it from the side. You can go ahead and press that, or it also comes with the Immersion RC's tram protocol, so we are able to change everything in the OSD menu through your goggles or an FPV monitor using your transmitter. Now, the flight controller is the Omnibus F4 V6 flight controller, and it was preloaded with Betaflight 3.5.1 version of the Omnibus Fireworks firmware, and of course it has the built-in Betaflight OSD, and it supports a 3 to 6S power input. So the ESCs are the Typhoon 32 V2 with BLHeli 32 firmware, and it also supports 3 to 6S power input as well. So this quadcopter can be ordered with these 2750 kV motors to use with a 4S or a 5S battery, or you can order the one that comes with the 1800 kV motors to use with a 6S battery. And I have my Comet 5 here, and these I have installed the 1800 kV motors, and it performs fantastic. But it did come with the 2500 kV motors, and since this quadcopter has the same internals as with the Meteor 5, with the Meteor 5 you are getting a different frame and a choice of these 2750 kV motors. So the camera that we are provided with this quadcopter is the R-xsr Aero Micro Pro CCD camera with a 600 TV line, 4:3 aspect ratio, and it has a 2.1 millimeter lens. And the field of view on this thing is 125 degrees, and they also provide you with this push button navigator controller for changing the settings of the FPV camera. And also we get a bunch of documentations as well. One of them is for the Omnibus F4V6 flight controller, and in the back it has the color-coded pinout diagram, so very nice documentation. And also we are given the documentation for the Typhoon 32 V2 ESCs with its own diagram of the pinout. And one more, it is the iFlight Force V2 VTX and how to go about connecting and changing the channels, the bands, the power output. And lastly, we were also given the documentation that comes along with the frsky XM Plus receiver, but I somehow misplaced it and I can't find it. And I'm pretty sure if you get the R-xsr receiver version, it will come with its own R-xsr documentation as well. And we also get this bag of goodies that contains some wires and a wiring harness, and also a dipole antenna with the MMCX connector. So I'm not sure why they give you an extra antenna with a dipole antenna when we are given the Lollipop 2 antenna. Maybe just in case you get into an accident and crash and the Lollipop antenna flies off, you are able to still fly around with this dipole antenna. So that is very nice of them to give you an extra VTX antenna. So coming up next is a couple of flight test videos, one of which is a line of sight flight test video, and the next one is the FPV flight test video of this Hobbymate Meteor 5. Now, these are my very first 2 flights ever with this quadcopter, so you will be getting my first impressions of this Hobbymate Meteor 5. And I did not have enough time to do a free flight, so I'll be updating this quadcopter with another video with some free flight as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up for the heck of it, and let me know also what you think of the products that are coming out from Hobbymate at hobbycool.com. I think there are some quality products so far with the Comet 5 and now with this Meteor 5. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we shall see you next time. All right, here we go with our first ever flight with the Hobbymate Meteor 5. What I got here is the CNHL's 1300 milliamp 100C 4S battery. Never been used. I just got it in December of this year, just right now. So let's go ahead and put that battery on here. It is looking pretty nice. All right, fits good, perfect. Turn on the remote. Got Meteor 5, and let's check it out. All right. I did hover in the background to make sure everything is working. So it is working. So this is not the maiden flight, but this is my first ever test flight with a good battery too. All right. Sounds like there's a little bit of prop wash. There you go. it's got lots of power, this one. Okay, don't lose it in the sunlight.
2 minutes.
Wow. Yep, it has lots of power. Okay, let me bring it in. This is a screamer. Okay, let's do a little punch out. Stand still, punch out. All right. Oh yeah, this thing is a rocket. Wow. Very nice. One more punch out. Oh yeah. Jesus. Let's try some acro flips and see how that feels like. Oh yeah, very nice, very smooth. I do hear a little bit of prop wash, so probably needs to be tuned. I'm running the provided PIDs that came with the quadcopter. So let's go ahead and put it down on the landing pad and try it out with some FPV goggles next.
7.
Alright, here we go with our first ever FPV flight with the Hobbymate Meteor 5. So let's check it out. And I have another CNHL 1300 milliamp 100C4S, brand new, never been used. And looks like the video quality is awesome. And the controllability with the provided PIDs is pretty decent. Let me get a feel for it here. Oh yeah, this is very nice. That's not bad.
2 minutes.
There's, however, a little bit I can feel that it is vibrating, like a prop wash kind of vibrating up around the turns. That was pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of rain. Lots of power. Yeah, there you go, some prop wash. Let's do a little punch out. There's some prop wash right there.
1 minute.
Alright, not bad at all. Though, just need a little bit of tuning. This thing's got tons of power. Wow. And it is sucking the battery dry. It has rebounded to 15.0.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Timer 1 allowed.
pretty decent. The tune is alright. You just got to get rid of some of that prop wash. And I'm using the Gemfan 5149s. Looks like we're getting over 3 minutes of flight time with a brand new 1300 milliamp CNHL. Okay, time to bring it in. Because of all that punch outs, we are not getting the normal flight time, but had to check out how powerful this thing is, and it does have the power. So let's go ahead and bring it in. 14.0. Oh no, it's dropping pretty fast. There we go. I think I missed the landing pad. Alright, so there you have it, guys. Our first FPV flight with the Hobbymate Meteor 5.